It's the hottest evening of the year. Air conditioners humming on every street, the fan running, dinner in the oven. Then the lights dip. A brown half-second, like the whole house took a breath. Then they steady. You barely notice. 20 miles away, behind a chain-link fence and a wall of roaring cooling fans, a building the size of 40 warehouses. Just pulled more electricity in 1 second than your entire town uses in an hour. It didn't dip. It never dips. It signed a contract that says it doesn't have to. And in a control room somewhere, an operator is watching a number turn red. And starting to decide which neighborhoods come off the grid first. It will not be the one behind the fence. It'll be yours. You grew up believing the power grid was built for people. Homes. Hospitals. The light in your kid's room. That's the story. The truth is colder, the grid flows to whoever signs the biggest contract and draws the most load. And right now the hungriest customer on the entire system isn't a city. It's artificial intelligence. When there isn't enough power to go around, and the people who run the grid are now openly warning there won't be on the worst days. The lights don't fail everywhere at once. Someone chooses who goes dark. And the rules that decide who gets cut first were never written to protect you. That's the threat you'll see coming. But there's a second one I want you to sit with, because it's already happening tonight, inside your walls. And it's quietly killing devices in your home while you blame the brand. And if you're thinking, there's no data center near me, this isn't my problem, hold that thought. Because that one assumption is wrong, in a way that changes how you should look at every outlet in your house. Miss one of these and you lose power the night you least expected. Miss all three and you're the household caught flat. In the dark, with dying electronics, never understanding why. I'm the fox who turns chaos into contingency plans. This isn't a video about hating technology. It's about what physics does to a grid when something this hungry plugs in. Subscribe, and let's look at it honestly. Start with what the people who actually run the grid are saying out loud, because it stopped being subtle. The North American body responsible for grid reliability has issued a rare formal warning. That surging electricity demand, driven heavily by data centers, poses significant risks to the bulk power system within the next few years. The largest grid operator in the country, serving around 65 million people across 13 states, has modeled days where it may not have enough power and could be forced into controlled, rolling blackouts. And it isn't only theoretical. In 2025, during a single minor fault on the grid in Virginia, a cluster of data centers dropped more than a gigawatt of load in an instant. Enough to nearly tip the system, and operators scrambled to hold the lights on for everyone else. That's not a doomsday prediction. That's the record, from the engineers whose entire job is keeping your power on. The customer that never sleeps. A city breathes. Demand climbs in the morning, peaks in the evening, falls at night while everyone sleeps. The grid was built around that rhythm. A data center has no rhythm. It runs flat out, 24 hours a day, and it doesn't shrink, it doubles. One large AI campus can pull as much power as a few 100,000 homes, continuously. Drop a handful of those into a region and you haven't added customers. You've added a second city that never turns off, never sleeps, never goes on vacation. And the new power plants and transmission lines that could feed it take years to build. The demand is here now. So in the meantime something has to give, and something means someone. And here's the part nobody says out loud about who that someone is. You are the easiest switch to flip. When a grid operator has to shed load to stop a total collapse, they don't cut the hospital. They don't cut the airport. And more, they can't cut the big industrial customers, because those contracts carry penalties, and a data center full of critical computing has the leverage and the lawyers to stay on. Residential neighborhoods have neither. Your street is the cheapest, easiest, least protected load on the board. Rolling blackouts roll through you first. But losing power for a few hours is the version of this you can actually prepare for. There's a slower version no generator will save you from. The strain isn't coming, it's here. In regions packed with data centers, wholesale power has already spiked, in some markets to multiples of what it cost 5 years ago. With the cost landing on ordinary bills. The demand curve went vertical faster than anyone planned for. And when you force that much new load onto wires and transformers never sized for it, you don't only risk the lights going out, you change the quality of the electricity itself. And that is where the second threat lives. Stop. Here's the trap. Every channel that touches this turns it into a story about one dramatic night, the grid fails, you light a candle, roll credits. And yes, prepare for that night. But while you're scanning the horizon for the big outage, you're walking straight past the thing that's already happening, every single day, in the wiring behind your walls. What I'm about to show you changed which of my own electronics I bother to protect. And it's the whole reason this channel exists, to find the threat everyone else walks past. Subscribe, because once you see this, you'll want to check something in your own house tonight. Here's the hidden one. Electricity is supposed to arrive as a smooth, even wave, clean power. But the enormous, rapidly switching loads inside AI data centers, and the equipment that feeds them, can bend that wave out of shape. Engineers call the result harmonics or just dirty power. And it does not politely stay inside the fence. An investigation that tracked power quality in homes across the country found something unsettling. More than 3/4 of the most distorted readings, the dirtiest power, sat within about 50 miles of major data center activity. Millions of people, getting subtly degraded electricity delivered into their homes. And dirty power doesn't kill your devices in a dramatic flash. It does something quieter and far more expensive. It runs your electronics a little hot, a little wrong, day after day, shaving life off anything with a motor or a circuit board. Your fridge. Your furnace fan. Your TV. The charger for the very flashlight and radio you're counting on in an emergency. They don't fail all at once. They just fail early, so you blame the brand, buy another, and watch that one age fast too. In the worst cases, the distortion stresses wiring enough to become a fire risk. And this is where, there's no data center near me, falls apart. Because the blackout risk isn't local. The grid is shared across whole regions. When the operator for 13 states runs short, the rationing doesn't check whether you personally live next to a server farm. You're on the same stressed system, drawing from the same strained supply, maybe hundreds of miles away. Distance buys you a little protection from the dirty power problem. It buys you almost none from the blackout one. So flip how you see your own home. You've been picturing your electronics as the thing you protect during a blackout. They're actually being worn down between blackouts, by the same force that's threatening to cause the blackout in the first place. One cause. Two completely different ways to lose. So here's the honest picture, and what to actually do about it. Two problems, two completely different fixes, and almost everyone gets the second one wrong. But let me be straight about the limits, because that's the part nobody else will tell you. None of this stops the data centers, fixes the grid, or guarantees your street stays lit. This isn't a force field. What it does is smaller and more real. It's the difference between the house that limps through and the house that gets caught flat, in the dark, with dead electronics, and no idea why. So tonight, 3 things. 1. The blackout. Keep one charged power station or battery where you can reach it in the dark, enough for your phone, one light, and your single most critical device. Not a panic buy the night it happens, maintain now. Rolling blackouts come back on, you're bridging hours, not the end of the world. 2. The dirty power, and here's the mistake people make, a generator does nothing for this. A generator is for when the power is out, not for cleaning the power that's flowing. What actually helps is a whole home surge protector at your electrical panel, backed by a point-of-use protector or a small power conditioning unit on the electronics you can't afford to lose, your comms, a medical device, the fridge if you can. 3. Listen to your own house. If your lights flicker or brown, your bulbs buzz, or your bill creeps up for no reason, that's the wiring trying to tell you something. A cheap power quality monitor will confirm it for the price of a dinner. Do those 3, and you've quietly moved yourself off the list of people who get caught flat. Because the grid now serves a customer that never sleeps. When it runs short, your street gets cut first. And between the cuts, that same strain is aging the electronics you're counting on to get you through. You don't beat this by panicking, and you don't beat it by hating the future. You beat it the way the fox always does, by seeing the threat early, and being the one house on the block that's ready before the lights even flicker. So check your power tonight. And subscribe, because the people who get caught in the dark are the ones who only watched the horizon. You'll be watching the wires. The fox keeps the lights on. Stay sharp.